Okay. Let me know when you see the screen.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay. So we are going to discuss about trust and validations. Okay. Here the trust is purely based on column level functionality. Okay. So we can define that which column has to like the column value, which column value has to survive depends upon the source system. Suppose like the different source systems are contributing, right? So for that column, so we from which source system we have to see the value at the base object level. So for that purpose we define the trust. So here like it's purely a like cell level survivorship. Okay, at that column from which source system we have to see the value at the in base object table level. So here if you see here like for an example, the set of records are available. Okay, 100 and 200, the phone number, everything. Okay, name and phone number. Let's see like what will happen when we define trust. So here if we define the trust on source systems, it calculates at the back end, depends upon the time duration. Okay, so we'll configure the trust values, means trust score values of to a source system, minimum and maximum. Okay, max how much trust score we can allocate, and minimum how much trust score we can allocate. Okay, and there is some specific time duration is there. Okay, suppose the functionality which we are going to implement, like suppose like for a source system HR, the maximum is 90 and minimum is 70, and this should be like this should be works till 6 months, means like for 6 months period, like if I keep 6 months as a time duration, means for 6 months the trust score will reduce from 90 to 70. Later on it uh, it will be forever 70% only. Again when we get an update to the HR source system, then again the trust will get increased. The trust will get automatically increased, means suppose if there is no change for a record from that source system, then the trust will be uh, downgraded automatically by MDM if we configure the trust settings, and if we configure maximum and minimum trust score. If we configure max and minimum as same trust score values, then the downgrade will not happen. Okay, if we mention the difference in max and minimum, then only the downgrade will happen, and that too it depends upon the duration which we select. Suppose if we select months as a duration, then we can mention like 3 months or 6 months, 12 months. If you take uh, quarters, then it will the downgrade will be depends upon the number of quarters we assign, and it's like same to the years also. Okay, if we select the years as a time duration, then if we mention 5 years, means from till 5 years that trust score value will reduce to the minimum level. Later on that will be there forever. So here we go for trust um, for cell level survivorship, right? So and suppose from a source system we get some data, and if that data does not change over the period of time, we may think that is an obsolete data, right? Outdated data. So still like how can we consider that data as a like a more reliability data? We cannot consider, right? So for that reason these trust scores have been implemented, and at the same time true. So the data for a column data is being contributed by two source systems, and two are more reliable. Okay, two are more reliable, and then we can go for validation to consider only from one source system, depends upon the indicator. Suppose um, if we consider the address, so as I said, address will be standardized based upon address doctor application, third party application, and DNB um, data set. So if that address is invalid, even though the source system is more reliable, but the address is invalid, then we don't consider that address for that column. Okay, we'll consider other record. So here, how can we implement that functionality based upon validation property? So if we have any indicator and we mention that if that address valid indicator is n means like 0 or 1, it could be like 1 means valid address indicator, 0 means invalid and address indicator. Then if address valid indicator equal to 0 means, then we'll downgrade that cell value. So like while running the match and merge process, even it calculates this also. Okay, it calculates that, um, it keep on checking that whether this validation indicator is satisfied or not. So if it gets satisfied, that cell value trust score will automatically downgrade, and the rest of the one will get win, and that value will get surveyed at the base object table level. Okay, so trust and validation both are interdependent. Okay, so mostly like the columns which we have configured for trust, those columns only we will enable for validation. Okay, so if you see here, the ROID object, to, suppose like consider that 100 and 200 ROID objects are matched records, but I need 200 ROID object value should get survive in the base object table level. Okay, and so we configure the trust. So whichever that cell value has highest trust score, that value will get survived over here. If you observe here, this 200 ROID object value has highest trust score. That's why this value get survived. Means it got win, and then it survived over here. And don't consider the ROID object. ROID objects are system columns, so we don't configure trust on system columns. Okay, we never configure trust on system columns because that will get updated by automatically by MDM. So okay. And even we have configured for phone. So for phone number, we have configured highest trust on other source system. So that value will get survived. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay. So here, when an update comes in from a source, MRM calculates. Okay, MRM means like master reference manager algorithm. It's MDM algorithm. We will. It's an like acronym. Okay, MRM means master reference manager. Calculates the trust on the incoming data and compares it to the trust of the data in the base object. Okay. Within the available data, it calculates the trust, and whichever the cell value gets win from that source system, that value will get survived. Okay. During the loading of data to the base object, this trust scores will be calculated during the match and merge, and during the loading also.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you see here, this is the uh, base object record. Already it got consolidated, something like something, the base object survived base object record. Here from the source system, we are getting the data, and it calculated trust. So this has the highest trust score value. so that value got replaced. Okay, but
Okay.
still the phone number has less trust score, so that's why it is not replaced.
Okay.
Okay. Mm, so it's an base object property column, as I said. If trust is switched off, base object. Okay. If trust is switched off for a column, then most recently updated value from any source is the survived value in the base object. Till now, we have seen whichever the latest source system record, that value will get survived in base object. So if we implement trust, then that functionality will not work for that particular column, not for all the columns. So suppose if we enable trust for name column, so it calculate trust, and whichever the source system record has a highest trust value for that name column, that value will get survived. Rest of the records will get updated with recent source system data. Okay. So even like we enable trust if two or more system contributes to the column. Okay. Um, Here I said right time duration. So time duration that trust will downgrade automatically over the period of duration time period. Here that um, decay types are three types are there: slow initial, rapid later, rapid initial, slow later, and linear. Okay, these will select depends upon the project requirement. But till now I have used this one only, linear only. Okay? I haven't used this. Slow initial means at initial durations, the trust score will reduce very slowly, and as the time duration increases, then rapidly the trust score value will decrease till minimum trust score value we assign. Here, first the trust score will reduce rapidly during initial stages, and later it will uh, like decay slowly till minimum trust score values. We'll see those properties. Okay. So here a trust column is there. We'll enable, and so here different source systems. Trust has been configured maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum, and the decay period. So here we took month for two source system, and rest of the source system, other source system is year, and the we mentioned like slow initial, rapid initial, so those things. Okay, how
Okay.
the value will get decay. Okay, this is just a graph, pictorial representation, how the value will get reduced. Okay, it does not have any like importance, just for our pictorial representation. Which are the values we define from here to here, it matters. Okay, so this trust, once we enable the trust property at the base object table level, then we'll go to the systems and trust. There we'll configure the trust score values. We'll see that thing also. Validation rules, as I said, validation will be configured on trust columns mostly. Okay. Here we have different properties are there. I'll explain you while we work on validation. Okay. Mainly we use validation to check the identities, like to check the what can I say, like the data's reliability. Okay, if it is not a valid data, then like we like it doesn't make any sense, right, to still we like update that value in the base object table level. So if an address is an invalid indicator, still if you mention that address as a if still that address exists in the base object table level, then it doesn't make sense, right? We don't do any processing with invalid addresses or invalid contact rate. These are the examples validation. We'll see. Okay, validation examples. Validation also will enable at the base object table, and within the base object we can write the validation rules. So we have different validation rules are there. So as I said, if it satisfies this validation condition, then we are downgrading the percentage, how much percentage we have to downgrade. Okay. Let's see. So I'll explain parallelly both trust and validation. Okay,
Okay.
you'll get more insight on that, like how it works exactly. So base object trust. So for validation, I want to zip code. Okay, I'll implement on zip code. If it is not applicable, we can downgrade. Okay. Okay. So first, at the base object for TM, I'll enable trust and validation. Okay. For name, I will mention. Okay, and I'll let uh, validation on contact. Okay, contact. So trust, yeah, and I'll take contact also. Validate. Okay. So if I enable trust, we can see some jobs. Okay, let's see. Like before going that, like I'll show you. Like let it be. I won't save those things. I'll show you how the jobs will be there in base object table level. So if you see party M, just remember, just observe that what type of jobs we have: load, match, smart search, generate match tokens, external match, cleanse, auto match. Okay, reset match table, match analyze, and validate foreign key relationships. Let's see like how many jobs will create will enable the trust and validation. Okay, just observe the values. Okay,
Okay.
and name on trust validation. Okay, so let's save it. It it is showing some message column trust settings have changed, so you must run the synchronization process using the batch viewer before executing any load process. Okay, when we make any changes to the trust, we have to run one job. Okay, we'll see that job. So if you don't run that job, whichever the load jobs we run on the table, that will get fail automatically. Okay, first, if we change any trust settings, first we have to run the synchronization job.
Okay.
I'll click OK. Let's see. Let's observe what type of jobs we observe over here. Did you see here?
Yeah, synchronize is added.
Synchronize is added, right?
Yeah.
So once we run this one, the synchronize job will disappear.
Okay.
Okay. First we'll configure the trust and then we'll configure the validation rules. Okay. Systems and trust, under trust only we'll configure the trust properties. Okay. We have enabled trust on two columns. So if we enable trust on any base object, we'll see one entry of that base object and that corresponding columns. Click on name. So how many source systems contribute, those source system it will show, and along with that admin. Okay. Admin is a manual operation, right? So admin will in the like in real time, like always admin will have highest trust score value.
Because that is used by data steward, is it?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Those are manual changes, right?
Mhm.
That's why. Mm, for SFDC, I will give 80 percentage, and I'll give some 60, and here I'll give 85, 70, 90, 75. Admin I'll give 95 and minimum as 90. Okay. See the decay graph, it is showing. Okay. So here we have the options to select units: day, week, month, quarter, year. Okay. Here these options will select depends upon the business requirement. Okay. Even this score values also will be provided by business. We don't assign manually. They sometimes they say that okay, for this SFDC they want highest trust score. Then maximum trust score will assign like 95. Okay. And sometimes they say that like admin and SFDC both should have same. At that time we'll assign some trust score 95. Rest of the things will assign like 90 or 80. It depends, like, or else like business will provide the trust score and they say that what is the decay period also they'll mention. If see here, slow initial, rapid later, so that decay has been reducing rapidly. If I select rapid initial, slow later, you observe that changing of the graph.
Right.
Okay, this is just for our notation purpose only. How the trust will change over the days. We have selected right month, so uh, for July 1st, if you don't get any update for this, which source system, that is blue color 90, yeah, 90 CKR source system. If you don't get any update from that source system to a record, then that trust score will reduce to 87.5. And still we don't get update, it gets reduced to here, which date, September, it reduces to 82.5 and till the minimum trust score. Once it attains the minimum trust score, it will not, the trust score will not get downgraded. Okay. Until unless if you mention minimum as 0.
Okay.
Over the period of time, if you don't get any update, okay, to that source system, to that source system of a record, okay, then only the trust will reduce slowly. Here it doesn't mean like so we are getting updates from SFDC source system, but for that particular record we are not getting. Which are the record is contributing the base object record. Suppose a record row ID object 100 is being contributed by three source system: SFDC, CRM, CKR. Okay, row ID object is contributed by three systems: row ID object 200, SFDC, CRM, CKR. For row ID object 100, We are not getting any update from SFDC source system, but we are getting update to the 200 ready object from SFDC source system. For the 200, the trust core values will not get downgraded. For 100, the trust core value will get downgraded. It's purely at cell level I'm mentioning. Okay, it doesn't mean that one record we are getting update, one the record we are not getting update. It will not applicable the into all the records. Okay, it applicable to the particular record level only. This trust code. Are you getting me point?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, and so in the projects I have seen linear only. So if you see linear, you can observe that the graphs are getting changed.
Yes.
Okay, the graphs are getting changed. And here test offset date is there, right? This is for our pictorial representation. Suppose if you select any date from that date to 12 months, how the trust will decay, it shows pictorial representation only. Okay, graphically it displays. It doesn't have any value. Even if you mention or doesn't mention, doesn't make any sense. Till here only we will configure.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll save this. So for CKR we have a highest trust score. Even for contact also we'll do that. Okay, I will take linear. Okay, but I cannot show you this trust degradation issue because it takes months, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Even we can take a day also, but we'll change. We don't change this like every time. We'll keep same as like timestamp. So that's fine.
mhm.
Okay, and this is the okay. We have configured trust scores. Now we'll configure the validation rule on contact. Okay? So if we don't check this property, okay, if we don't check that property under the validation rules, whenever we click this one, there are no validation columns and there must be at least one validation column before validation rules can be defined. Okay, one
Okay.
column should be there. That this is the column on contact. I'm assigning, yeah, validation rules. Click plus symbol. So validation, contact validation, contact existence check, domain check, referential integrity check, pattern validation, custom. These are the rule types. Are the existence check is nothing but see whether the name is null or like we can change the column. Okay, whether contact is null or not. Okay, if contact is null, we'll downgrade that value.
Okay.
Okay, so if you are getting null values, we'll downgrade that value. Okay,
Okay.
and so what is the downgrade percentage we can do? We can downgrade 40%. Means suppose for SFDC we have 80% trust score value, right? So for SFDC we got contact as null value. When it calculates, it downgrades to what is the 40% of 80?
32 is
It downgrades 40%. Means that 80, if you consider 80% as trust score value, if you downgrade 40% of that trust score, what would be the value will become?
I
The
think
value will
48.
become, yeah, the value will become somewhere like 48.
Yeah.
The trust score it gets it's 48. And here we have reserved minimum trust option is there. If we configure minimum and minimum trust score at the trust score settings, then we'll enable this. Okay.
Okay.
So at any point of time, it it retains the minimum trust score value. For SFDC, we mentioned 65, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though it downgrades to 48, but still it assigns 65 only.
Okay.
Okay. Like that, we have different domain check, so we can provide some indicator values. So here we can use contact or address, those things. Okay.
Okay. Why do we see only three columns here?
At the base object table, we have only three columns are there, right?
Okay.
So for that purpose, we'll place some indicator values if we need. Okay.
Okay.
And here we have and downgrade referential integrity. We can use any other column, eh, any other table. Suppose
Okay.
in any of the table it has some value, then we can, or else we can write the pattern validation. Okay, its name, like if it is name gets like this, like pattern validation, or else custom query. We can write custom query where some query like suppose address table valid indicator contains 0, then downgrade the contact. Like we can mention like that also. Okay, we can write custom query.
Okay.
Suppose like we'll check that existence check and we'll use contact. Contact is null, then we'll downgrade that percentage 40%. Click OK. Contact violation rule has been created. Okay, so once we check this properties, okay, we have observed synchronization job, right? And let's see, one more job is created on it for validation. Did you observe? Once we configure the validation rule,
Revalidation.
this job has been
Validation.
created.
Okay.
Okay? These things, suppose if the base object is outdated means like we have some change some validation, or else like any we feel that we haven't run the any validation job or any match and made job to that base object. So at that time we'll go for revalidate. So it will reassign the trust score values. Okay.
Okay.
So whenever we change the validation rule or any trust score settings, so if it does synchronized job, we have to run the synchronized job, and then we have to run the recalculate job. Recalculate BO job. I will show you that one. Okay, I will show you that one. Okay, for now. So if we create validation rule, one job will get created, and if we change the trust score settings, synchronous job will get created. Once we run this job, that will get what I can select. This job will get disappear. So first we'll run the job. Okay, we'll run the job, and before running the job, okay, this is the base object, right? I'll pin this and we'll observe the changes in the columns. Name column. Okay, name and contact column. Okay, backfill trust records, like it calculated trust for 9 records, and let's see what type of data, what type of columns will get served. 2001, 2002. Okay. Roid object 2, right? We'll observe for Roid object 2. Mahesh. Object 2, Mahesh still. Okay. So CKR has highest trust score, right? So Mahesh has survived. We'll see. Okay. Here CKR has the highest trust score. That's why for this one it is showing like this. Okay.
Okay. Even with only synchronization job, it will reduce the trust score, is it?
Yes, yes. It recalculates the trust on the base object table records and assigns.
Okay.
Okay. It recalculates the trust with the records available within the XREF, and that value gets updated at the base object table level. So in XREF table, we'll have all the source system records, right? So if you consider two, base object two, it has three records, right? Three records. Okay. It has three records, right? So when we run this, so for which base object we have RTM, for which base object we have multiple ROID XREFs. Not ROID XREF, ROID object, right? Sorry. Let's run this. So three records are contributing, right? Here all are from CKR. That's why whichever the record has a recent update. So this one has the recent update. That value will get survived over here.
Okay.
This will be survived. So here all these records are contributing by a single source system CKR. We'll see now. Okay, how the value will get changed over the time. So we'll insert the data quickly. Before that, like if I refresh this batch viewer, the synchronized job will get disappear.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll insert data into the address and landing table. Date. So already we have 9 data, right? Now what I will do, I will change the source key values. Okay. I'll change the source key values for this one. So Mahesh, CKR as highest, right? Let's see. According to the match rules, I will address city content. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll use this one, okay, to show more. Like any, we can use any match tool. I'll mention here contact null matches not null. because we have enabled validation rule on contact, right? So for that reason, okay, we'll insert the data. Contact CKR CRM CRM SFTC Mahesh. I'll mention SF SFDC. I'll make this one as null. CKR, even though it has highest trust, then and Mahesh. The name CKR has should write Mahesh. Let's see. Okay, we have built the data set. What is this SFDC 12? Null. Other records should get survived. Okay. Mm, okay. Okay. We have built the data. We'll commit this one. For address also, we will change according to that. Let's say for Rohit. Address. First, I'll take for Rohit. Where is Rohit SFTC? Okay. And copy. Okay. Okay. Mm, we'll change the source key also here. Now Rajesh record. Rajesh. Now Raycon. Okay. And okay, we need to change next Mahesh. We'll take Mahesh records. Okay. SFPC. Mahesh SFPC. Okay. And CKR. CKR. Okay. There are two CKRs are there. Okay, no problem. CRM. SFDC. And we'll change this. Okay. Now we have uh, created the data set to support our. Okay. And let me explain few more tables. Okay. We have configured. Okay. Let's see CTL table. Okay. CTL table, what kind of data it stores. CTL contains the trust information.
Okay.
Okay. So here ROID object, for that ROID object, how the value has been surveyed. So here we have configured on name and contact, right? So if we configure how many names, that that many how many columns, that many columns will be displayed over here. Okay. So if we configure name, for name we have 4 columns have been created. LRS, last row ID system, last updated date, OTS, over the trust score. That even I like that column signifies, I don't know. And survived row ID xref, this one. These are the columns which we have to check. For context, same thing it has been mentioned. So here for this row ID object, okay, for that row ID object, name name cell value is being contributed by CKR. Okay, CKR source system. What is that survived row ID xref? Okay, so for, let me pin this. For this row ID object 2, we have 3 records, right? So for that 3 records, from which source system that name is being contributed, CKR, and and from which row ID xref that name is being contributed. Here from 2002 it is being contributed, 20,002. Okay, why it is contributing, like this is the latest
Latest update. Okay.
update, even though the same source systems are there, but which one has the recent update, it considers that one. If the
Yes.
trust scores are same, it goes for the recent update. Okay, and that is the thing explanation. Even same thing, this one also, contact also. Let's see, like we'll run the uh, stage job, load job, and match and merge process, how the values get reflected, we'll see. Okay, and before that, like we have validation also is there. So this is the control table. This is for trust scores. Even we have HCTL is there. This is history of this table,
Okay.
history of trust score table. Right now we have like same data only, because only one time only we have processed, right, for trust. So now onwards we'll see different entries over here. So in the CTL table, how many row ID objects exist in the base object table? Only that many records will be displayed in the CTL table. Okay. In HCTL table, it will contains the full history. Suppose row ID object 2 has been updated multiple times. That many details will be displayed in HCTL table, same as like his table. Okay, we'll see. Okay, how the uh, records will get differentiated. And we have one more table is there, VXR, for validation. This is for validation purpose. Right now, like validation rules has not been configured, right? Like configured, but like it hasn't processed, right? Will process now. Okay. So if we have validation rules on how many columns, that many columns will be displayed over here. RMT, VOK, and VPC. Validation percentage, validation rule executed or not, and RMT, I forgot that something name. Let's see, like once we run the, okay, data. And I'm saying that during the development process, we don't see all these tables. Okay, very rare cases. It's our personal choice. Okay, to look into these tables. Okay, why I'm saying that, like most of the developers or people will not have an aware what type of this column, what type of data will be present in these columns, why these columns gets reflected. They don't have any aware because doesn't matter, right? Like we have configured trust, so whichever the source system has highest trust, that value will get survived. Blindly, people remember that and they execute the things. Okay, it's our personal choice.
Mhm.
Okay, I see most of the developers even won't look at these tables. We look at this hexref match table. That's it.
Okay.
We don't look at HTRP table, DT table, CTL table, HCTL table, VXR. Even we have HVXR is there. This is for X history of this VXR.
History. Yeah.
Okay? First, we'll run the job. Okay, we'll run the job and we'll show you. We'll wind up the class. Go to the next viewer. First, we'll run the stage jobs. All the stage jobs. These are independent, right? That's why you can write run. Okay. Okay. Oh, what? Okay. 9. Right. It has processed. Okay. First, we'll run the parent. Okay. 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 We have loaded the data. Now run the match process. Let's see like which contact rate we have. Let's say this one we have configured. Okay, let's execute. Okay, 17 matched records, 6 queued for automates, 11 queued for manual match. Okay. Match table. Let's see how many entries are there. So many entries are there. Automate indicator. One very few records. Two. Tick, 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 tick. Okay. Let's see which record will get contributed. Okay. Okay, we'll run the merge job. Automate strict records. Okay, let's see the. Okay. Rohit. Okay, we'll run for roid object to let's see name and contact. Okay, for roid object two, name is Mahesh Babu and contact is this one. Okay, and last roid system is CKR. And we have configured trust scores highest for CKR, right? Both for contact and name. I have assigned 90.
Yes.
So whichever the data present from the CKR source system with recent data, that value should get updated. Let's see for that CKR. Okay. Let's pin this one and let's check the xref. Okay, there are four records are contributing. Oh, again, this is all these four are belong to same CKR. Okay, that's fine, not a problem. Okay. So contact is null, and let's see for Rohit. For Rohit record again, Rohit. Okay, how many records are contributed by Rohit? 51. CKR 2007, right? 20,000. Okay, now let's see here. I think we can see. Okay, now. So for CKR source system, we have assigned highest trust score, CKR and CRM. Okay, three are contributing. So name this has to be survived and contact this has to be survived. Okay. So let's see what has been survived here for Rohit, fifth record, right? Yeah. Name this has been survived. Okay. As we have highest trust score, but contact should survive null, right?
Yes.
What it has survived?
Contact value.
Yeah, some value has been survived, right?
Because
So
I think we selected null matches not null.
no, null matches not null. That would be okay.
Okay.
But for contact record, we have given highest trust score, right? Whichever the value present in that contact, whether it could be null or not null, empty, it could be anything. That value
Okay.
should get display over here, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But it not displayed. Why means it has executed validation rule. And let's see the data in CTL table. You will see more entries. Okay, as the records uh, as the records are more. So how many records are there for base object? 12 are there, right? Total. So in CTL table, we have 12. 12 row ID objects. For 12 row ID objects, in CTL table, we have 12. And if you consider the 20,007 is Rohit record, okay? 20,007, the Rohit record. See, for like we'll observe the trust details. So last row ID system, CKR, survived XREF value, 40,001 for name. Let's see, 40,001. See that this is being survived, right? Name. Okay.
Okay.
And for the contact CRM, which one is the surviving one? 20,004. Which one has the 20,004? This is the 20,000. This is survive. Now you got right. Hello.
Yes, yes, I'm thinking actually. Why not null? I'm still a bit confused.
Why, sorry? That's
Why?
what, like, we have applied validation rule, right? Where contact is null, we are downgrading the trust
Yeah,
percentage, right?
yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. That's right. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
that is the reason. And let's see the tables also. uh, I have shown xf like we'll see the history of control table. So we'll see 20,007 and 2. We'll have multiple entries for that one. And 2, you see, just it maintains the history.
yeah, yeah.
It contains the latest trust information and previously how the trust has changed. It contains the details. Same thing, validation for validation also.
Okay,
So for validation, how many rules it has executed validation, how many times that will be displayed. Okay, validation, okay, it has executed 2 times. That's why downgraded 2 records. We have processed total 9 records. Whether the validation is executed or not, executed and downgraded, right, for those 2 records,
right.
which already express 40,001 and 40,002. Let's see. 40,001, like for Rohit record, there is one 40,001, and for row ID object 2, you may see 40,002. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah,
So this is about validation rules and trust configurations. Okay. With this, the 50% of syllabus has been completed, and one more small concept is that. So whenever we change the trust scores, we have to run synchronization job, and then also we have to run recalculate BO. How can we run recalculate BO is using APIs. This is SOAP UI tool. Okay, I will explain you SOAP UI tool also later. So here we have one API is there, execute batch recalculate PO. Okay.
okay,
Here we will provide the details and trigger the job. So it hits the MDM application and executes the recalculate PO job. Okay. And then all the trust will, whichever the like records are there, trust will be reapplied and the records will get updated.
okay,
So we have these APIs are there. This is like connecting to the MDM application using third party tool. This is one third party tool. Here we can do all operations. We can read the data. We can, so I think okay. This is one API, get API. We can read the data. We click here, we can.
this uh, project suite is provided by MDM, or do we have to create it?
This SOAP tool will not be provided by MDM.
No, no,
We have
the APIs, the
yeah,
APIs.
yeah, yeah, like this will be provided by MDM only. Like we have to use one URL. I'll show you that URL. Okay. So already this one-time configuration. So this is one-time configuration. Okay. We can use not, yeah, this one only. We'll use till here. Okay. Till here, and we apply this in the SOAP UI tool. Sorry, not empty project. Okay. File, new SOAP project. We'll provide that URL, visual URL.
Yeah,
So we'll copy this. I'll provide here. till WSTL, okay. And I'll mention Mahesh. Okay. So under Mahesh, same things will be configured. See, you are observing same.
Okay.
Same thing. You got it right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
So
And this can be exposed to other, let's say, GUI applications or some websites,
yes,
so that
exactly.
can be.
So this soap is one API application. Like
Mhm.
that, we can write some custom Java code and we call that URL and we can execute that SIF API.
Right.
So execute batch load is one SIF API, execute batch match is SIF API, execute batch recalculate BO is one SIF API, and those things. Yeah, and we can read the data. So so as of now, we have get API is there. One sample get API is there. I'll show you how can we read the data. So here I'll mention the BO some base object details, CBO for TM and ready object too. I'll show you this one also. Okay, check two.
Okay.
Now we are able to see the data, right?
Yes.
Name, email ID, contact. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So in our case, we have to run the recalculate BO. So whenever we change the trust settings, we have to run the recalculate BO. So here, username and password, admin. Okay, username and password, admin. Copy this and we'll paste here. Till password section, we'll paste this. And security payload. There are some optionals are there. We don't require that. Security payload is not required. Okay. And ORS ID. ORS ID is nothing but the database name. So we'll get that ORS ID under here. This is the ORS ID.
Okay.
Okay. Even just I'm giving you this information. Sometimes people may ask about like like do you have any experience on SOAP util or any SIF APIs? So for that purpose, I'm giving you. So in development environment, very rare cases we use this.
Okay.
Okay, and even asynchronous JMS, this is Java message service. We don't need these things. Asynchronous. Okay. The table name, which table name? CBO party. And row ID object table is not. Um, sorry, row ID object table. Um, Table name is nothing but Siberian. Okay, row ID object here. I think we have to use. Okay, wait, let it be. I'll comment it out. It's not needed. Okay. So here, this is execute batch recalculate BO, right? We can run recalculate BO on entire table, or else we can select particular base object records and we can run. So if we want to go for particular base object record, like bunch of base object records like 5 or 10, we'll insert that records in one of the temporary table. We'll create one temporary table and we'll insert that row ID objects which are the required into that row ID object uh, temporary table, and then we'll run the job. Let's see, succeeded. It calculated the row ID object. Okay, it recalculated the row ID objects and backfill trust everything. If we see here again, we may observe the difference in history table. 24 earlier, it has 24 now. Let's see how many. Okay. There are no back, like as of now, like we have ran the recalculate synchronization job and batch process everything, right? So that's why it hasn't updated anything. If you have any uh, old like old trust scores for the existing base object here, then it will recalculate the trust scores.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the SIF API we do, and like that we can calculate for specific record, specific base object record. So at the time we'll go for recalculate BBT for first, like here it is asking row ID object. So we'll mention that row ID
Got
object,
that.
and then we execute that. Okay. So most of the times we use recalculate BO or recalculate BBT. If you are in operation teams like production support, then only we'll use these things. Okay. And we have delete, soft deletion of the records. To soft delete the records, we'll mention the row ID object over here.
Okay.
Row ID. Okay.
Okay.
Those things. That entire object will get soft deleted. I'll show you. Okay. I'll show you each and everything.
Okay.
Okay. So mostly we'll use in if you are in production support, we use delete API, and we have execute batch delete. This is for hot deletion. Okay. And even we can run merge unmerge jobs from here, batch unmerge, batch match, batch load. We'll trigger all the jobs, but for development's perspective we don't use those things. Put API to insert the records. Okay. And we have cleanse put. I'll one day I'll show you everything. Okay. Yeah,
All
like
right.
20 minutes class I will take you, and I'll explain everything. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
If you get any feedback, like update them, like or like 50% of the syllabus has been completed, right? I'll provide an update to the my team. Okay.
Okay.
So the leftover things are queries, packages, cleanse functions, hierarchies from this section.
Hmm.
Okay. Queries, packages, cleanse functions, hierarchies. Hierarchies will take 2 hours, more than 2 hours. Cleanse function 1 hour, queries and packages 1 hour. Okay. By next week we'll complete these things.
Okay.
Queries, packages, cleanse function, hierarchies. Okay. And
Okay.
one day I will take these two. This one will combination of hierarchies and this. Okay.
Okay.
First I will explain the packages, queries, then I'll go for hierarchies. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I have tomorrow. Do we have a class?
No, 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 no. We have decided only for weekdays, right?
Okay. All right. So not on Saturday as well as Sunday.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.